Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the new Haute42 Cosmox Gaming Panda C16. So let's open this up and see what we got. We have our box with our holographic logo. We have our details in the back. I like how they upgraded their packaging. This looks like something you would grab off the shelf at a store. And this out of here. So we have our instruction manual. We have 5 pieces of custom artwork. You can pop this lid off and change to any design right out the box. And these 2 here, you can take a pen or a marker and color your own custom design to put right on your pad. Here's our controller. Let's take this out. We have nothing in the back or the sides. Our accessories are on the front. We have a braided USB-C to USB cable. We have our 2 extra wind engine switches. We have our switch puller. All right, let's get this box out the way. And here we have the C16. So we go across the body. We have all smalls across the top and 1 large here on the bottom. We have our menu buttons here on the top, our screen, and our tournament and light switch here on the side. This looks and feels a lot like the X series. It's plastic across the top here. The lid here is acrylic, and then we have our plastic base here with a nice digital design. When we go across the body, we have nothing on the bottom. We have our pass-through port on the right-hand side, our secure USB-C port here on the top, and our regular USB-C port on the left. When we flip the pad over, we have our grip tape pre-installed with our boot cell button right here in the bottom. We have a push button, and what this does is you'll push this button to change the artwork on your pad. So you hold the button down, slide your finger in, and the magnets lift right up. And when you take the top off, you can see your push button right here, and you can see your pass-through port extension right here on the side. You have your top with your extra artwork here pre-installed. To swap them out, you just lay the artwork in, take your top, and then magnets hold it right on top for you. And next we have the paper test. What's the paper test? We take a standard piece of 8.5 by 11 printer paper. We're gonna turn this sideways, and we put it under our pad, and we can see it is shorter than a piece of paper by 1 adapter and not as wide by 1 adapter. So if you're at home and wondering what this pad will feel like in person, take a piece of paper, turn it sideways, and play just like this, and that'll give you a good clue how it'll feel on your desk or your lap when you play. So what's it like living with this pad? I think it's really nice. It has a metal base with a plastic body going around and this acrylic top, so when you hold it, it feels really light, but it doesn't creak when you flex it or hold it. It feels really sturdy, and it feels like something you would buy right off the shelf, and I really like that. When you plug the controller in, the light bar lights up across the top, and you're really gonna like the color around the rings. The buttons are 2/4 off the top, so these rings are not the rings you would see on the R. These are just light rings that are level with the base, and the keycaps are a regular height off the base. Changing the artwork is very easy. You can see it just lifts right up and you pull it right off. And what's nice about this pad is if you like to play with rings, you can do that with this pad. If you take the artwork panel off, the ring itself is about 1/4 tall and the keycap is 2/4. That's pretty much the same as the R16. So you could play on this pad as a ring style pad and have no problems. The rings are very stable, don't shake, they don't come loose. So you can play it just like this and you'll feel right at home. And you won't have the left peaky like the R, but again, you have your full size S with rings if that's what you're looking for. And as a package, when you open it up, picking the artwork you want out the box is very easy. You get your different styles that come. If you like these or don't like these, you get your plain sheets here. You can just color and draw and do whatever you want to do and pop them right in and make it look how you want it to look right out the box. And I haven't gotten one in yet, but they also sell an aluminum top. So if you don't want to put artwork, you just want to have a black or a blue, you can order the additional aluminum magnetic tops and pop that right in as well. And your next question is, how hard is it to add your artwork? You just take the sheet, drop it in, take your lid and lay it right on top, and you're done. Now, if you go through the Discord, you may hear people saying that their lid here is not closing properly, and I'll show you that. You can see here, it's a little bit lifted off the top, even though it's installed, and that's an easy fix. So I'm gonna take the top back off, and what you wanna do is when you put it on, just go ring by ring. Line it all up one by one, and it smoothly snaps right into place. And your next question may be, can I use cardstock or regular paper? So when I print out my artwork, I always do it in 2 forms. I go to FedEx personally, so I'm in the States, so I do a cardstock paper here, and I also do what's called a clear gloss. So this paper here feels just like regular paper, but it's extra shiny and really bright. And this is your standard cardstock paper here. So when you put these in, this falls right in place very easily. You just cut your holes and it lines right up. So when you want to use your cardstock, you can easily put it in here and again, do the same thing, go ring by ring and line it up and push it down and make sure it goes around all the rings. Then you'll take your top and you'll lay it this way, you'll lay it down and go ring by ring, one by one, and smooth everything out, and then everything will be nice and flush on top and bottom and no issues. So now that we have this new design, you may be asking, is it still easy to get your keycaps off and your switches out with this new ring? I have an older switch pulley here, so I'm gonna use the wire side. I'm gonna stick this right under the keycap, and I'm just gonna wiggle it side to side here, and it pops right up. Here I have my switch. I'm gonna take the teeth side, I'm gonna pinch and just wiggle, and it snaps right out. So taking your keycaps and your switches out is still very easy to do. And having the lid on or off makes no difference because the rings are actually what's around the switch and the keycap. When it comes to your rings, they're actually snapped in place to the base. So if you just want to take these off, you will have to work and grip really tight to pull these out. Why you would want to do that, I don't know, but it's something you want to do. You can take these out, but it is a lot of work. I recommend not doing it. The only things I've noticed with this pad is this home row is very much like the X series. So these buttons here are a little clicky compared to what you had before, but they feel just fine. They feel like buttons. The sloping base here, it is shorter than your M Ultra or your T or your R, so your wrist rest is not as tall. And that is because, again, this home row here kind of pushes everything down, and the grooves here to fit everything in place, it shifts everything just a little bit lower, and you lose some of your wrist rest. But after playing with the pad for hours, you won't notice. So when it comes to this new platform, I really like it. I think it covers a lot of bases. If you're in between the S or the P now, I would tell you get the S because it's compact. If you don't need compact, but you want the smaller buttons in that layout, then you would get this. You would get this pad here, you would put your custom artwork, and you're done. If you have the R and you don't use the pinky, or you want an S with rings, just take the top off and use this pad here, and you have your S with rings. And I hope down the road they make a pinky here to give it the R with this style layout as their entry full-size pad. So this pad has the new base lights and the ring lights, just like the M Lite and the M Ultra. So when it comes to upgrading your firmware, just use the M Ultra and you'll be all set. So when it comes to switch upgrades for this pad, I didn't need to do much. It came with the wind engines out the box, and I noticed pads that have a metal base, when you add upgraded switches, everything feels really snappy. So I left the stock wind engine switches on this pad, added O-rings under all my keycaps, and now it plays really snappy and quiet. So what's it like playing with this pad? And what's nice about this pad is if you like to play with rings, you can do that with this pad. If you take the artwork panel off, the ring itself is about 1/4 tall and the keycap is 2/4. That's pretty much the same as the R16. So you could play on this pad as a ring style pad and have no problems. So how do you connect to your console? You'll take your power cord, connect to your controller, connect to your adapter to the end of the cord, connect the adapter to your console, set your controller to X input mode. On your controller, press home, press start, and you're all set. Controller has a pass-through port. You'll take your power, connect to the controller. You'll take your booter device, connect to the pass-through port. Make sure your pad is in PlayStation or Xbox mode. Grab your power cord, connect to your console, press home, press start, and you're all set. For Xbox, you have the Brooks XB3, you have the Mayflash Magic X, and you have the Mayflash Magic Boot for Xbox. For PS5, you have the Brooks Wingman FGC, you have the Mayflash Magic S Ultimate, you have the All56.com booter, you have the Mayflash Magic Boot, and you have the Cosmox Gaming Haute42 Booter 5, and you have the Brooks Wingman FGC 2. This adapter will not work in the pass-through port at the time of this recording. You will have to plug this at the end of your cord, but this is your option for PS5 only games. When we compare the C16 to the M Ultra, when I put them back to back, you can see they are the exact same height and width, and both are essentially the same height off the ground. We can see they both have small buttons going across the body, with one large here on the bottom. They both have their home row across the top, with both having their lights and tournament switch on the top. This pad having the screen in the middle, and this pad having the screen on the top left. Both pads slope down here on the bottom. This is more of a natural slope. This slope here just cuts off on the bottom. They both have 2 power ports on the side and the top, with the pass-through port being on the top for the M Ultra and the pass-through port being on the right-hand side for the C16. So if you're on the fence between the two, this pad is metal on the top and bottom. This pad is metal on the bottom with a plastic top and acrylic top in the middle to easily change your artwork. This pad here, you would have to use a vinyl wrap or some form of labeling to put artwork on this pad, whereas here you can print and cut, just drop it in whenever you see fit. The top menu row on both pads feel just fine. This one rattles a little bit more just because the way it sits, but it's not an issue. And when you put a C16 top on the M Ultra, you can see the C16 is slightly wider in the middle. And when you line things up, you can see the right-hand side side of the C16. This layout is essentially the same. It's slightly wider over here. This button here is lower and more to the left on the C16, and the whole bottom row is lower. And when you line up your directionals, you can see they are essentially the same, with your buttons here being a little bit lower and slightly more to the right. It's really the wrist rest, so obviously this is full metal. This is only metal on the bottom and plastic everywhere else. This pad here, from the bottom button to the base, is essentially a full Brooks adapter, whereas this pad here from the bottom button to the base is 2 sideways adapters from the button to the bottom. So if the wrist rest matters to you, you would want this pad. If it doesn't, you would get this pad. So if you're on the fence between these two options, I think they're both really nice. They both fit into the S family with the small buttons, tighter spacing, and the large here on the bottom. Your bigger question is, do you want premium metal on the top, or do you want premium metal on the bottom with an acrylic top where you can change your artwork whenever you see fit, and with a slightly lower bottom row? Here we have the Haute42 M Plus and the C16. When I put these two back to back, they are the same height and essentially the same width, and sit roughly the same height off the ground. When you compare these two, this pad has your smaller buttons across the body with one large on the bottom. This pad has all larges across the body. This has your tighter spacing, and this has your wider spacing. This pad has lights on the buttons and along the base. This pad only has lights in the buttons. This pad has a screen in the middle. This pad has a screen on the top left, with the home row being here and the home row and L3 and R3 buttons being here as well. This pad has one power port and the pass-through port on the top. This pad has 2 power ports and the pass-through port on the side. This pad slopes off here on the bottom, while this pad gradually slides down the bottom. To add artwork to this pad, you will need to do some form of vinyl or adhesive to put artwork on this metal pad, as it is metal on top and bottom. This pad is metal on the bottom with a plastic base and acrylic top. You just pop this off and change the artwork to whatever you see fit. If you're on the fence between these two models, this pad falls more into the S family and this pad falls more into the T family, again with the smaller buttons and tighter spacing, and this pad being the larger keycaps and wider spacing. Whichever your hands prefer is the model you would want to pick based on the spacing and keycap size that you prefer. Here we have the Guilekeys GF16 metal and the C16. And when I put these two back to back, you can see the Guilekeys is taller by the flat side of the adapter, and they are the exact same width. And when I put them side by side, the Guilekeys is flatter off the ground by almost the head of an adapter. Both pads have your standard layout with the small buttons across the body and one large on the bottom. These are 23mm keycaps. These are 20mm keycaps with a ring that lifts higher off the base, where this pad has light rings that are flush with the base. The keycaps on this pad are about 2/4 off the top. The switches here sit about 3/4 high, with the ring being 1/4 and the keycap being 2/4 tall. When we go around these pads, both have 2 power ports on the side and the top. Both have a pass-through port, his on the top and his on the side. This pad having a standard size screen, this pad having an extra large screen. This pad also has your menu button, so you can change all your settings on the fly with this button here. This pad is running the latest firmware, so you can set a button on your pad to be your menu button, and you can change all your settings on the fly. If you're on the fence between these two pads, here you're looking for a standard flat button style. These look like rings, but they're more lights, and they kind of go around the keycap. The height of the keycap is standard with every other pad. So this is more your standard leverless pad with the metal base and the acrylic top to change your artwork. This pad here is your ring controller with all metal across the whole body on the top and the bottom. They both slope down here. This pad here slopes down more, whereas this pad is more of a slight gradual slide down the bottom. They both have their home row across the top. Then you're asking yourself, do I like a standard layout with rings? Then you would get the GF16 metal. Or do I want a standard layout with a metal base and custom art top? Then you would get the C16. So that's the Haute42 Cosmox Gaming Hot Pad C16. If you're a fan of the S but feel it's too small, you're gonna like this pad. If you're a fan of the M Ultra but feel the price is a little too high, you're gonna like this pad. With your metal base and plastic frame, it feels really sturdy but very light in your hands. And your USB-C cable that snaps in the top here and it locks in place. That way if you step on it, it doesn't go flying out or break your USB-C port. And if you do break it, you have a backup here on the side. And with your push button to change your artwork, you can swap out all the included artwork that comes in here, or you can use the 2 sheets in the box to color and design your own artwork to go on your pad. You have your tournament switch to disable this row so you don't get disqualified. You have your light switch to easily turn your lights on and off. You do have a shorter wrist rest, but it's nice and big, so it fits nice and comfortable on your lap, and it has grip tape on both sides out the box, so it stays very comfortable on your desk or your lap. And I would say if you're looking at the S or the P now, if compact is what you need, get the S, you'll be good to go. But if you just need the smaller spacing, smaller buttons, one large on the bottom, and your standard layout, you get your large footprint to go on your lap or your desk. And when you want to customize it, which most people do, you don't have to think about it. It's all in the box. You just press the button, pop this off, drop the artwork in, and it's that easy. I think this is the way to go. And I think the Haute42 team did another great job with this pad. I think you're really going to like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.